this button, and then I say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Going good. How about yourself? How about yourself?
Swell. I'm doing all right. We got a deck doctor here for Sero 2. For Sero 2, hit me with that there elevator pitch.
So my favorite card probably in this entire set is probably Refreshing Slice. And I have been trying to look back at old characters and say, what does Refreshing Slice go well with? Because one of the problems you have with Refreshing Slice, if you want to use it multiple times, is you have to get it back committed again, right? And you could do that by blocking is of course the obvious way to do it. But if you are limited in the cards in hand, or moves are outspeeding you, you're not going to have that option. And I knew this card was crazy when it had its equivalent in standard, Power Split. But that one, again, that's in a format where there was a lot more ways to commit. So I started looking through the options we had in my hero, and they were pretty limited. Basically, no character can do it on both offense and defense except for this one.
Yeah.
Like, Backdraft gets it on defense. There are a couple of characters that get it on offense or get it as like a conditional response, like Shigaraki 2 gets as a conditional response. And like there were a few okay foundations maybe you could use, like Rescue Completed, but that just seemed I didn't want to have to find two foundations to get this combo really working. But then I started looking back on Sero 2 and I realized that I can, if these two cards are out, Sero 2's Enhance now becomes discard 1 momentum, stun 2 your opponent. And I was like, that seems pretty good. Combine that with everything else Sero 2 gets access to, and I thought this might be a recipe for a really, I don't know, regional competitive deck, but a really solid deck going into set 4.
Yeah, I think that is completely and totally fair. I'm doing just a little bit of looking on the...
Yeah, I will tell you, I made this deck in like 30 minutes, so it is very rough draft right now.
Fair. Super, super fair. So what do you want my help with? That's the next question.
So a few fold. Get the foundations in order, because ratios on foundations I always struggle with. Make sure the attack lineup is how it should be. I don't think there are better options, but I just want to double check. And then as well as like, are there assets or actions, including those in set 4, I should be considering that are like worth being less likely to draw into our main foundations as a result.
Sure.
So most talk about ratios and
You're a robot?
Oh, that robot? Am I still a robot?
Yeah.
Let me see. Do I sound any better?
You sound tons better.
Cool, awesome. I had 2 streams up. I think that's probably what's doing it.
Ooh. Fair enough.
It's mostly just getting the ratios, making sure it all comes together as a cohesive deck instead of just this gimmick concept.
Fair. Super, super fair. Just doing a little, still looking. There's a couple of interesting choices that you made here that I'm excited to chat about.
Of course.
Yeah, no frog lashing. Weird.
No frog lashing?
Weird. It's a weird choice that you made.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I too would like to just... Wait, is frog lashing legal?
Banned.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I think it's bad.
Okay. I have slammed a bunch of stuff in the list. So obviously, I forgot about Tentacle Strike. You're right. Tentacle Strike's the card. Might be here. Yeah. We can talk about that one too, I guess. Boop. Okay. Let's talk attacks first. So if you wanted to go like a throw route, I wouldn't hate it. Like having just fast throws that even if they do block is like a thing you can do. So like things like trap flex, things like grasping
Sure.
tape toss, I think is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sticky ball pitch is one of those cool cards that is a throw, but it's not a throw. It's got EX2. After you block with it, it does cool stuff, and then you always edit your mono during the end phase. Always. I think this card is going to be very good next set because of all the discard momentum do a thing cards that you have. It's very, very cool. Grasping tape toss. Cat punch. If it's blocked, you draw a card, commit a foundation, do the thing. It's very cool when you have them commit more foundations, you know. Tinkle strike. After a card leaves your rival's card pool, commit a rival foundation. And so you play Tentacle Strike, you do its whatever. You play your next move and they've blocked. You clear their card to give it +3 draw a card, and then you remove this, you -1 progressive for the rest of the turn, and commit one of their cards.
Okay.
Freezer Burn lets you re-ready cards for free. And that's where I was at there. Those are the attacks that I saw.
Maybe it's best to talk about the decisions of the attacks I chose first, because I don't think we want to go too much above 20. Let's ignore the obvious one, Tongue Whip. You never not play in a deck like this. I mean, it's a 4 low for minimum 5, and like if you know you need to kill them, you can stack up a few adding to their card pool to swing for even more. So like, Tongue Whip feels obvious. Tape Lash is a card that I think people kind of glossed over in set 3 because like Sero has not been good in a while.
Sure.
But it's like, it's stun 1, 5 mid for 7 in us that gives our next one +2 damage, and not only further stuffs their card pool, but forces them to cycle a card, which means they're not getting to hold their best blocks. And like the reason, one idea here is I want almost every attack to fund our enhance for ourselves, because I don't like being in a position where I'm reliant on my opponent deciding what to do, and also then starts creating problems if we're in a format where like Faith Shield is still super popular and things like that. If they are self-clearing their own card pool, then like our character kind of stops working.
Sure.
This says no matter what, we're going to be our character, and allows us to go very aggressive in our like turn 2. Tape Stream Jab is probably the one of the ones I'm a little less confident of. It does what we want to do. We can make it a low if we want to eat their low blocks before our Tongue Whip. The biggest problem is like it does just stay 4 damage, and so like 4 damage is not a lot. If I was replacing anything with Tentacle Strike, at least like 1 or 2 copies, I could be convinced to replace 1 or 2 copies with like 1 or 2 copies of Tentacle Strike. Dual Needle Lunge seems like the odd one out here immediately. I know I'm going a little out of order. I'm going just how I'm thinking through them. Dual Needle Lunge seems at first glance like the odd one out here, because it's like it's not a ranged keyword and it's not supplying itself. So why are we running it? But a card that clears itself from the card pool, removes your progressive, and most importantly for us, it puts it into the momentum for our refreshing slices to do the stun 2 we're looking for. That has felt absolutely insane. In fact, I think of like the non-ultra rare kill you attacks, Dual Needle Lunge is one of the craziest ones in set 4. I think giving you guaranteed snap momentum on turn 2 on an attack that's already doing solid damage, and has some like incidental matchups like Jiro, where its momentum effect could be relevant, just feels really good right now. The only card that like, and then finally the last attack I'm thinking of that I like, but does have some hesitancy of the high difficulty cost, is Amphibious Ambush. You know, it does everything we want it to do. It adds 1 to their card pool. It gives us that snap momentum, so allows us to again kind of supply our refreshing slices to go in for like turn 2 kills. Like, to just give an example, I did have one like golden hand where I did admittedly check a lot of 5s, but I had like 4 foundations with a refreshing slice out, and I drew Dual Needle Lunge, a range attack, and Amphibious Ambush, and I doubled Dual Needle Lunge, checked 2 5s. I played the range, drew a card, drew into another attack. I ambushed. I think I checked a 3 there, but then I used refreshing slices, started re-reading it. Like, this just lets us go in for these really aggressive turns.
Yeah.
But again, having all this snap momentum. And having Sero in this position where he can, like, kill early is something I actually think he very much lacked before now. I think giving him this position where, like, he can play the control game of, like, hey, I'm going to get 2 momentum on your turn. I'm going to commit 4 of your foundations with Refreshing Slice and his ability. Or having him say, draw to the hand that says oops or dead felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
That just was my thought process through the attacks. The ones you mentioned, I don't love Grasping Tape Toss or Trap Flex, because I think, like, you are losing the ability to kill in the early game in favor for, like, potentially killing in the late game.
Sure.
If we wanted to run, like, Grasping Tape as, like, a one of for, like, the occasional matchups when you need it, maybe, but even then I'm a bit hesitant towards it, because, like, we aren't running a symbol that can get stuff out of the discard pile, like air. Besides that, Cat Punch I don't really like. Problem is with, like, Cat Punch is that it's not ranged.
Sure.
And so, like,
yeah, that's fair.
I think you have to replace the Needle Lunge. I think we have room for exactly 4 copies of non-range. And those 4 copies are currently being consumed by Dual Needle Lunge. And I am going to be hard pressed in, like, with how crazy Dual Needle Lunge is to get rid of it.
I want to take Ambush and Dual Needle Lunge down to a 3 of each, just to play more 4 diffs.
You do 3 of, and then 2 of Tentacle Strike?
I don't hate it. I think 3/3 and then 2 is totally chill.
I think that's solid. Certainly worth. I think that's a ratio, and also Tentacle Strike's a +1 mid. Yeah, I like that. That seems pretty solid.
Yeah.
I especially like Dual Needle as a 3 of, because what you don't want to do is get hands, and actually same thing with Amphibious being a 3 of. You don't want to get hands where you get, like, Dual Needle Lunge, Amphibious Ambush, and no other attacks, because then you can't supply her E. Or his E.
It's that, and when you look at your block zones, all of these have low blocks, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, 100%
low block,
right there.
And so, like, having 12 low blocks in your attack lineup, like, feels rough. At least we have 6 mids, to, like, try and help cover our stuff.
Especially when we've got Tape as a foundation that also guarantees we can use a mid to cover something.
Yeah. Can I break your heart?
You can try. I might or might not listen to you.
Okay. I think that what you're saying with Refreshing Slice is absolutely true. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I want to swap the numbers on Refreshing Slice and Blood Evaluation very, very badly.
I know what you're thinking.
I think he left. I upset him so much his microphone stopped.
Yeah, I actually just quit. No, Oh god. Can you hear me now, Mr. Krabs?
Yes.
Awesome. I hear exactly what you're saying. Because Blood Eval's a high block, right? Did I die again?
Nope, you're good. I'm listening.
Okay. Blood Eval's a high block versus a mid block. We're very struggling for highs. Turning us into a 7-hander will never not be good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could be correct to do 3 and 3?
Sure, I'm down. That's a fair compromise.
I think 3 and 3 will have me comfortable.
It is more high blocks. Let's go. You said you built a deck in here. Having more high blocks is going to be way better for you. You're not playing 2 checks, and so, like, committing this and drawing the card is going to be crazy on defense. This is going to be good. This is also getting 2 more 4 checks out of your deck when you're playing a lot of 5 diffs. I think this card is good. It is very, very good. This card is just better at doing the thing that you want to do. Because, like, this commits 2 foundations, but committing a foundation is not worth the momentum. Drawing a card is worth the momentum.
Yeah, I think the reason I feel comfortable with it as 3 and 3 also is because I also see you've got both Rescue Completed as a card for us to consider, and we also have Sticky Balls. You don't want to be in a position where on turn 1 you have 2 Blood Evals in hand, or you might have not a great build turn 1.
Sure.
And like I want to see Refreshing Slice, but I don't really want to see it at more than 1 copy. And when you see a 4 of, you're more likely to see it at 2 or more copies. So I think 3 and 3 to me, and I'll mess around with it to see if the numbers need to change. I think 3 and 3 is very comfortable for me.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. Here are the big foundations that I want you to look at. Number 1, Exhausted Exclamation. On your opponent's turn, the second foundation that you should be committing to do your ability is Sero. Unless you've got some crazy blood evaluation, whatever. But this just like turns all of these into draw 1, right? I think Fast is another cool thing that we get to do. To instead of commit a card with Sero, we get to commit to change the zone of a thing. I think that is cool. Making a stand. I don't know how many of your things. There's one. It's literally just one. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
But this is anti-momentum, and it's going to be important. This card beats your deck, so like, we should talk about it. Resi Complete is just a good ass card. Observant Student is really good, specifically in Deadlock, because you have a card leave your card pool. You have a card leave your card pool. So at Deadlock, go commit Observant Student. Go pick up Tongue Whip. Seems like a pretty good deal.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Irrefutable is just a good ass card. Feeling Cute is just a good ass card. Virulent Counter is a Deadlock threat, but you're saying you want to kill early, so like maybe we don't do that. And then Frozen is like the bad version of Feeling Cute. So there's all of that. You left like a lot of really, really obvious high blocks on the table in low of like getting more low blocks. Like why is getting a tour in this deck? What is going on here?
Honestly, it's a set 4 card. I want to put it as a 1-of to see how it feels. But I'm absolutely cool cutting it because the upside is everything is 3 or less speed.
Yeah.
Before we use our enhance, except for I think there's one card that is Tongue Whip's not. Everything else is 3 or less speed. That said,
you also have Desperate Struggle in here at a 1-of.
That's another of I just want to see how the card plays, and that one even more so, because like it feels crazy and it takes your reciprocal bursts and just says nope, they do printed damage now and stuff like that.
After it gets the speed bonus, you just say that it doesn't even get the damage bonus. You just block it. It's a 3 low. You can block it. He's gone. I said one thing to him, and he just leaves.
I'm gonna scream at my microphone.
Please don't, because I don't know if you'll be on or not. Screaming would be bad.
Fair point, buddy. I think as a 1-of, Desperate Struggle is cute right now. We're running already 5. Desperate Struggle is already a 1-of.
Yeah, we're cutting Sticky Balls onto a 1-of because it's also a 3-diff.
Yeah, that's fair. 5 3-diffs, that's a comfortable amount to run.
What's this number allowed to be?
I do not want to get with 20 attacks. I want to stay at around 60 and preferably at like 59 to 61.
Sure. Yeah, you do also have a lot of draw on your face, and so like being a little more foundation heavy is not that big of a deal because you're going to start increasing your hand size, especially with things like you've got 1, 2, 3 cards that auto draw for you. That these do just say +3 speed, draw 1.
Sure.
Okay, so here's the things that I think you have to have in your deck. First off, Feeling Cute or Frozen. I'm a Feeling Cute fan. Let's pretend that you don't have Refreshing Slice or Blood Evaluation. Commit my foundation to have you commit 1. Destroy that foundation to do the thing is very good. This card also gets us out of Deadlock. It is a lock breaker. Both of these are, right?
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you go to graphs so I can see what our 1 and 2 dips look like right now?
Yeah.
To see what we got.
12, 14, 8.
So right now, off the top of my head, like 2 Feeling Cute, 2 Frozen.
Sure.
Gut Instinct.
Yeah, that means we get to cut things like getting a tour, right? This card's gone.
Yeah, getting a tour. Getting a tour is cute. It should not have a +3 high block.
2 and 2, and then we need to figure out. Let's look at difficulty. Actually, look back at block zones. I think we got to cut some of these mids somewhere. right? Things like creepy down to a 3 of. I don't think you need 4 creepy, right? You
I
usually
think
go 3 creepy and then 2 cheerleader. As much as you're wanting to steal momentum, people are going to be trying to take it from you. I think having this momentum out and this momentum out and this momentum out, and these all have, some of these have like this is EX. I think it's going
only
to
one
be
of the EX.
Your deck is going to be a little momentum hungry, and I think it's going to be a little tough to justify this cheerleader. I think it's one of those cards that is going to come out of your deck. But I'm down for you to try it.
I think it very likely will become a sideboard option.
This looks a little cleaner. But yeah, like you've got tape. Man, if this card wasn't a tape lash for your deck, I would want to just cut sticky balls altogether, truthfully. Or like cut cheerleader down to a 1 of and like find just one more high block.
I just like sticky balls because if you open dual needle lunge or tentacle strike or an ambush without filling the pool, you have that chance to draw into something else.
Sure.
So I think as a 1 of, I feel comfortable. Although it may get cut if we end up in a situation where like 100% or like 80% of the field is running mostly ranged. Yeah. Like, I don't know what the keyword pools are going to look like next set.
Sure.
That's kind of my thought process.
That makes sense to me. How do I cut a cheerleader to put one more high block in your deck? Can I cut this for one more feeling cute?
So you want to cut drop cheerleader down to a 1 of?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking. I like cheerleader.
We can leave
it.
We can leave it. I just wanted this to be a little bit higher. That's all. I wanted 16. Or we can just increase this number.
With 26 mids, I think cutting cheerleader down to a 1 of, because cheerleader is such a sideboard card in many situations. Mm-hmm. I think cheerleader is a 1 of, and I can jam a couple in the side deck for when I need it. Sure.
Third feeling cute because it's spam.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Was some that the one card I'm left thinking about if we want to put in or not that you mentioned. Irrefutable seems like it might be a side deck card, although it could just be. I have to see the format to decide if Irrefutable is worth running or not.
Sure.
First villain, because first villain is a deadlock hate, one of the best deadlock hates in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also. It's a great piece to play right before ambush, because you committed, now ambush is on a 5. If you check the 5, you don't commit anything, and if you check below, you are just committing like you used to, plus you got the free speed and damage.
Mm-hmm. It's just insurance, right? It pays you a little before to say that you're going to check a 5. That's all. That's good. But the question is when we look back at our block zones, right? I think that you are stacked here. The card that you get the flex slot here is Blood Evaluation. You don't get to cut Feeling Cute because, like, giving all your moves +4 speed is fucked up, right? It's just, like, really good. Start in the final says that you don't die, and then Frozen is your stun. So, like, if you want... Or Frozen could be your flex slot because Feeling Cute does this card's job. Right?
So I think being at 60 cards would be fine. What would you be thinking about cutting 1 Frozen to put in 2 first villains?
I'm in.
Because I think that puts me in a good position.
17, 25, 18. I mean, it passes the block test, right?
Yeah.
Like having decent enough blocks to at least test the deck.
Yep. Oh. It's a bit mid-heavy, but you've got tape to compensate a little bit for that. I think everything here is how I like it.
Yeah. The last card that I'm seeing is just this one. I really think you should consider putting this somewhere in your deck if you ever have room. This is 3 symbols. And there's 2 other symbols. Just like this into this, you give your +5 damage to Tongue Whip. You got it.
Well, you know it says 5. If I remember, has it been ruled if it's 5 symbols or 5 different symbols?
I would assume it's 5 or more different symbols. That's what I would assume, right?
Okay.
And even if not, right? Like you could go like tongue whip into ambush, and they technically all share the symbols, right? And so like
No,
this is now a 6 high for 10 in your deck. For,
yeah,
like, no
well, actually,
reason.
that's what I was saying is that teamwork, if it is going to be really strong, most people are thinking it's a mistake, but it's, I mean, you're going to say it's already really strong. I'm a little more mid on it, but it's going to be even stronger if those are any 5 symbols, not 5 unique symbols.
Yeah.
Which currently, based on the wording, it would just be any 5 symbols, but that's probably a typo. Um, I I know you love teamwork. I understand you love teamwork. It's a side deck card for me right now. That's
Sure.
where I'm feeling on it.
Sure.
I may find myself proven wrong, but it feels like a good, really good side deck for string chaos decks that are gonna like try to throw a bunch of lows at you, or like the tongue whip decks. Super, super side deck for me right now.
Do you like have you ever played with Sugar Rush?
I have played with Sugar Rush. Well, I've not played it myself. I've played against Sugar Rush quite a few times.
If you have 2 cards in your card pool, this card's live, as opposed to having 10 cards in your discard pile.
True.
This is a
True.
2 difficulty 5 damage move with a 5 check.
You're absolutely right, but there's also a reason why I personally don't play decks that jam Sugar Rush. I'm not a big actions person
Oh, you
myself.
just hate the blues, huh?
I
Don't like the blue cards. I get it.
blue lives don't matter. What can I tell you?
Doesn't matter, I guess. I guess the last card that we really get to talk about. Don't you dare call this Sugar Rush again. I'm going to discard the Sugar Rush, Andrew. I don't know what you want from me. Discard Sugar Rush or the 1 low block, but I can play it in anything. Coda is just the last card. Saying that your opponent's things have Breaker 2 means that they just commit 2 more resources whenever they play cards. And I think
I would love Coda if it was actually Breaker 2 and failing the check ended the combat phase.
Oh, so you're just a greedy little bitch, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
You just
that's
want
what I'm
everything.
saying.
Okay.
If you tell me I'm gonna get Breaker 2, I want Breaker 2. You're the one who says, "Oh, we have Mario at home," and Mario at home is some bootleg game.
I'm putting it at 1 of in your deck because it's nuts. I'm putting it at 1 of because all your attacks get +1 speed by paying a health. And you have Breaker 2. This card's insane. This card's so good in your deck. And you left again, so I get the final word. There it is. Easy enough.
I will allow it for now.
All right. Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot this list to you. I think it looks good. I think I might steal this for the basic core of my Water Sero 2 deck. I think this guy might have some real legs with things like Refreshing and Blood Evaluation.
Did I give you permission to steal my deck list? Excuse you?
That's the thing about this is like not only do I get to steal it, but all the good people at home get to steal it. Your YouTube video.
Not only do we
wave high to YouTube.
Not only do we pay you, but you then get to get free content and information.
Yeah. Homie, I got 800 decks I gotta make. I don't know what you want from me. All right, man.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time, okay?
Yeah, of course, bud.
Peace.